Hello everyone. Welcome to UPSCprep.com. My name is Neelam Bhatia and we are here today for a very important reason. Now, if you have clicked on this video, then perhaps you have decided that PSIR is going to be your optional, or you're on the verge of deciding that this should be my optional. Either case, my dear students, this video is for you. And we know how important optional is. It can determine your rank. It can determine whether you are going to be in the final list or not. It can determine the cadre that you get. So sure, we want to make sure that optional is something that we have control over. And also remember, my dear students, with the variations in GS, it is optional that is going to anchor you. And if you're able to perform well in your optional, that's going to reflect. Now, we are sitting in June. That means we have exactly 6 months to complete this optional by December. हम ऐसा क्यों करना चाहते हैं? You know what is happening with prelims. You know how tough it is getting to clear prelims. So from our end, at least we want to make sure that from January onwards, we are giving maximum focus to prelims. And that is why, my dear students, it's important that you begin now, you start your journey of the optional now, and try to complete it by December. Of course, plus minus 15 days is acceptable, but you have to make sure that by 31st of December, you're able to complete PSIR optional. And we just don't want to complete it. We want to do it in a very effective manner so that you don't have to come back to the optional again and again. Once you're done with the basic premise of the optional, then of course you would just need to do some revision, do some value addition, and you'll be mains ready. Also remember, between prelims and mains, you don't get a lot of time. So effectively, this is the time that you have to prepare your PSIR optional. Now, what I'll be doing in this video, my dear students, I'll be telling you exactly the steps that you need to take. I'll make sure that I tell you all the mistakes that people usually commit, which you don't have to make, so that your journey is smoother as we progress from here onwards. So tighten your seatbelts, make sure that you watch it towards the end, and usse bhi zyada important, make sure that you follow what I'm telling you today. Because if most of you just write it down in your pen and with your pen on your copies and don't follow it thereafter, then of course it's not going to give you the fruits that it can otherwise. So make a commitment to me in the chat box that you're not going to repeat the mistakes committed by others and you are going to follow the steps that I talk about in this video. On that note, let's get started. Now, step number 1. Now, see, my dear students, I see a lot of people who start with political science. बहुत मजा आता है. They thoroughly enjoy the paper. So you start with thinkers, you start reading Plato, you start reading Aristotle, you read Gandhi, you read B.R. Ambedkar, and you're absolutely, happy, you feel like a scholar. And you end up spending 4 months only on paper 1 part A. But here is what I need to tell you, my dear students. Paper 1 part A is not your entire syllabus. Unfortunately, a lot of coaching institutes, a lot of teachers do not, take care of this fact, and they keep on explaining paper 1 part A for about 3.5 months or 4 months. While, yes, as a political science scholar and teacher, it's a very, very good paper. You actually read about the core of political science in this paper. But remember, we are preparing for an exam. And all the 4 sections of your paper 1 part A, part B, paper 2 part A, paper 2 part B, they carry equal weightage. So you can't give 3 months of time or 4 months to time only on paper 1 part A. Yes, adequate time has to be given, but you need to remember that it is not the entire syllabus. And that's where it is important that you give equal time to paper 1 part A, paper 1 part B, paper 2 part A, and paper 2 part B. For that, my dear students, whenever you're beginning with your preparation, have a structure, have a map, have a timetable, have a schedule. Okay, in these 2 months, I'm going to complete paper A, paper 1 part A, or I'm going to take another 2.5 months for paper 1 part B. A schedule should be with you at all times so that you're not lost, so that आपको political science की मोह माया अपने में बांध न ले. Remember, you don't have to become another teacher. You don't have to become another researcher. You have to clear the exam. That's our objective. And for that, you need to have a structure. Now, in this video, my dear students, towards the end of it, I'll also be giving you a structure and we'll also give you the Excel file of it. It is exactly with the dates that you can use to prepare the optional for next 6 months. So I've, drafted out a plan where you start with paper 2 part A, then you move to paper 2 part B, then paper 1 part A and paper 1 part B. You can move it according to your convenience. But what is important is you give the dates that we have given you in the schedule so that you have a structured timeline to your preparation and you're not lost. I'm not saying you use this timetable, you can use any plan that you want to, but the point is you should always have a structure, you should not be lost, and you should not give too much of a time to any section. You have to make sure that every section is dealt with adequately. So that's step number one, my dear students. I hope that made some sense to you. Step number two. Now, this is very important. See, in my class, I see there are students who have some background in political science. And then there are some people who come from an entirely different background. They've never read political science. And we often assume that somebody who is from a background will certainly do better from somebody who has not been from political science background. But that's not necessarily true. And that's because sometimes people with background take basics for granted. We don't have to do that. Because at the end of the day, my dear students, as much as value addition you do, as many scholars as you quote, what is very important is you have 100% conceptual clarity of the subject. So conceptual clarity is supremely important. That's where the basics come. You have to move in a very incremental fashion. You have to understand the core of the topics, and then you have to gradually move towards the advanced level. What do I exactly mean by this? Can be better explained through this Bloom's taxonomy. I think I think Bloom's taxonomy can actually help us understand what do I mean by moving from basic to advanced. So whenever you pick up a topic, the first step is to get familiar with the topic. This is what I do in my classes also. Even if you're from the background, you're not from the background, first understand what that topic is about. So if we are reading about globalization, know what globalization is. Know how the world looked like before the concept of globalization came in. The point here is you should get familiar with the topic. You should remember some definitions. You should remember some concepts around it. You should be able to recall some information. That is only your step number one. To be able to recall the information, to get familiar with the topic, to know certain keywords. And then, my dear students, you understand. Understand is when you can actually teach it to somebody. So, how do you know whether you know a topic or not? When you have a clear cut understanding of that topic and you can actually explain it to somebody. So, can you summarize globalization for me? If I give you a pen and a paper, can you write it down? Will you be able to explain it to a 5-year-old? That's when understanding comes in. This is exactly what we do in our classes also. मेरा ये method रहता है. I first give you a bird's eye view of the topic so that you get familiar with the terminology. Then we build on understanding it. We make sure that we have 100% conceptual clarity over it. And then you should be able to apply it. So what do you mean by apply? So say you read an article in newspaper about protectionism. Now, are you able to compare globalization with protectionism? Are you able to relate to it? That's where you would see that whatever you're reading in PSIR or any other subject, when you look it up in your newspaper, you're able to connect the dots. You're able to see it in action. Now you don't just know globalization, you know how it happens in the real world, how it manifests in the real world. Then, my dear students, you should be able to analyze it. So, what are the positives? What are the negatives? Is globalization good? Is globalization able to give us what we really hoped for? Are you able to distinguish between the globalization impact of globalization on West and the impact of globalization on India? Are you able to look through different types of globalization? That would be your analysis. Finally, my dear students, evaluate. So, what is your judgment? We write conclusions in our answers. And we believe conclusion is summary. I tell my students, आपके conclusion summary क्यों लग रहे हैं? Summary is like, okay, this I said, and I'm summarizing it in the last paragraph. By conclusion, we mean we are going to take a stand. We are going to now have a way forward. We are either going to defend, or we are going to negate, or we are going to come up with a balanced recommendation. What should be done? What should be the way forward? How do we balance globalization with the rising trend of protectionism? That would be evaluate. So I have read, I have understood, I can differentiate, I can connect it to world affairs, and I can also give you a judgment. I can also give you a recommendation. That would be evaluation. My dear students, we don't really need create wala level, particularly for our PSIR optional or for your UPSC preparation. But the first 5 levels are important. And whenever you sit to study, make sure that you do this in this manner only. Start by priming your brain, understand, apply, analyze, and evaluate. Trust me, my dear students, when you read this way, that's where your answers are going to reflect the maturity of your reading also. So use this Bloom's taxonomy, cultivate this consciously in your head. I'm sure some of you may be using it already, but remember, use it consciously, use it as a part of your preparation, and you're going to see the result. So that's what I mean, my dear students, by having a structure to your preparation. Very, very important. When do we write answers? So, my dear students, there are two opinions to it. Some people are going to tell you that you should write answers when you're done with a substantial portion of your syllabus. Now, I want you to be very honest with yourself. When was the last time you actually wrote something? I am regularly seeing this, that people are not writing, and you are not at fault. You're not writing at the university. What you're writing in university is not needed in UPSC. So the art of writing is lost. And you need to know that writing requires a specific kind of skill. So reading a topic, understanding it, a lot of people do it. But when I ask them to reproduce it in answers, they're not able to do it. And the reason is pretty simple. We have not written. It's a muscle that develops with time. And I have a very, very clear opinion on it, which I want you to follow. Have a little faith, understand what I'm saying, and you will be rewarded. Please don't wait for syllabus completion. Start in the very first week of your preparation. Ma'am, what are you saying? I mean, I have not read the syllabus. I don't know anything about the syllabus. Of course, when I'm going to write answers in the first week, they are going to be horrible. I may not even be able to write it. Fair, understood. So first thing is, okay, you're going to write horrible answers. Then, क्या हो जाएगा जब आप गंदे answers लिखेंगे? Would somebody put you behind bars? Nothing is going to happen. You're going to get better with the next one. By 10th, 15th, 20th answer, you will be only better. So what is there to lose? Even if you're writing horrible answers, how does it matter? It's still better than not writing an answer and writing your first horrible answer 2 months later. Your answer is still going to be horrible. But ma'am, I don't know the content. Well, that's a fair point. So don't start with answers. Start with writing paragraphs. Write 2 paragraphs about the article that you read today. The class, summarize it in 2 paragraphs. This conversation, this video, you summarize it in 2 paragraphs. What I'm saying is write. Write, start with anything, start with a paragraph, start with a summary, start with an analysis, but start. And no, don't start from week 5, start from the very first week. Write bad answers, but write. This is a single important advice, my dear students. If you're going to take it through, you'll be immensely benefited. Because picture this, you may have read tens and thousands of books. You may have read 100 articles. The examiner does not know you. उनको नहीं पता आप कौन हो, उनको नहीं पता आप कितने समझदार हो, उनको नहीं पता आप कितने scholar हो. The examiner is only concerned about what is written in the answer sheet. If the answer sheet tells the examiner, okay, nice, good flow, good structure, nice to read, pleasant to look at, you will get the marks. Otherwise, nobody cares who you are. Nobody cares how much you have read. And how would they know you? Is by your answers. So as important as content is, what is also very important is you learn the art of answer writing. If you want me to make a video specifically on answer writing techniques, on how do you write PSIR answers, do let me know in the comments, and I'm surely going to make a video on it. I'll break down answer writing for you, stages of answer writing for you. Do let me know in the comments, and I'm going to make a video on answer writing as well. So write answers from week 1, not from month 5. You don't have to wait that much. You have to begin. But ma'am, I don't know how to write. No problem. Just start. You will not know unless you write. The only way to know how to write answers is when you sit and write answer. That's it. So I often say, I mean, this is a very famous analogy. Can you learn swimming by watching swimming videos? Can you learn to run by watching running videos? Similarly, you can't learn to write just by looking at answers. or just by watching answer copies, or just by looking at answer writing videos. You have to sit with a pen and a paper and write. Just time yourself, force yourself. एक काम करो, just tell yourself, I'm going to write for 15 minutes. नहीं होगा तो छोड़ दूंगी, but 15 मिनट लिखना है. So just time yourself and write. Write anything, but write. Eventually, your answers are going to improve. That's my promise. But you have to begin somewhere. Next, my dear students, is building a PSIR vocabulary. Now, see, I'll give you some terms: electoral integrity, democratic deficit, brickmanship. What happens when people write these terms, or when you see them using these terms? Somebody would say that these are very fancy terms. I mean, somebody is trying to show off. क्या दिखाना चाह रहे हो ऐसे शब्द use करके? What are you trying to show? This is a very bad misconception. This is not show off. These are really the terms that define political science. My dear students, every subject has a language. Every subject. There are some keywords, there are some concepts, there are some specific words that define that subject. And if you use those words in your answers, my dear students, it signals to the examiner that you are from this subject. So if you look at the UPSC notification, it clearly says that in optional, you should have an honors level understanding. Now, honors level means what? A bit more than graduation and a little less than masters. So they are expecting you to be the scholars of the subject. They are expecting that you are somebody who knows this subject well. And that's where, my dear students, it is very important to build a PSIR vocabulary. But what do I mean by vocabulary? I mean to say, you should know the words of this subject, and you should use those words in your subject, in your answers, which are specifically defining the subject, which are the core of the subject. So instead of just writing that judiciary is exerting influence over the executive, you must use the word judicial overreach. Instead of saying that judiciary must not intervene into the arenas of the executive and the legislature, you should write judicial restraint. Now, what I'm trying to explain here is when you write these terms, you will be considered as somebody who is from this subject, and that's going to add 1 marks to your answer. And 1 mark, my dear students, over the paper can change your destiny, can change, I mean, not destiny, that would be too much. Your destiny is not dependent on this exam, but it can at least determine your rank. It can determine whether you will be in the list or not. And that's surely a big thing. But ma'am, I don't know how to prepare this vocabulary. कैसे याद होंगे ये शब्द? How would I remember? So for this, my dear students, we have an initiative which we are running on our Telegram channel. The link to the Telegram channel will be given in the description of this video. This is a completely free initiative, and I'll tell you how and what is the logic behind it. The logic is simple and the concept is also very simple, but it's going to be very effective. So what I do is I share a term. For example, you can see day 47 was electoral integrity and day 48 was social cleavages. So I share a term and then I share a brief note on that term. And then I send a voice note. So you look at the word, you read through it, and then you hear me. So when you hear, when you read, and then I also give you some active recall questions so that you can quickly check whether you have understood the keyword or not. Now imagine doing this for 300, 350 days. You're literally going to have somewhere around 300 words added to your dictionary. And all of this, my dear students, this entire exercise, I've spoken to my students, it hardly takes 10 to 15 minutes. That's maximum. So you just read, you listen to my audio, you solve active recall questions. If you want to take a quick jot down in your diary, you can. But imagine having 300 words as a part of your vocabulary. तो अब जब मुंह खोलोगे, जब आंसर लिखोगे, तो वो vocabulary बाहर आएगी. And that's what we want. Even though you may not be a scholar, बनना भी नहीं है आपको, but examiner को लगना चाहिए कि आप ये scholar हो. भाई सब game ये है कि क्या दिखता है. Unfortunately, it's all about that. So even if you are no masters of the subject, but you can show as if you are the masters, then perhaps you've won the game. And for that, this PSI dictionary initiative is going to be super helpful to you. So if you are already not a part of it, it's absolutely free. We'll give you the link. Please join that Telegram channel. Follow this for 300 good days. And I promise you, your answers are not going to be the same. You will start speaking the language of the subject. Also, my dear students, I speak from experience. I've done my bachelor's, my master's. I'm pursuing my PhD in political science. I'm in a UGC NET in political science. I've been teaching political science for about a decade now. And no, I'm not saying all of this to kind of tell you how good I am. I mean, it's no big deal. But what I'm saying is I have lived with this subject enough to tell you what are the words that can make you appear as if you are a scholar of the subject. Because eventually वही 300 350 400 शब्द हैं which makes up the content of this paper of this subject, and the examiner is also looking for these terms only. So अगर आप उनको वो terms दिखा सकते हो अपने आंसर में, you are going to get what you want. So please follow this initiative. Also let me know if you have any feedbacks with regards to it. I'll be happy to hear your side of the story. Step number 5, and I want to speak about it, please. होता क्या है? It is a very beautiful subject. Trust me, I am almost in love, I'm in love with the paper, love with the subject. I enjoy it. I've been reading it for so long, but kabhi bhi kuch bhi naya mil jata hai. It's a very beautiful subject. There is so much to do, there is so much to read, there's so much to understand. It unfolds in front of your eyes every single day. So it's absolutely beautiful. But you need to understand that you are not here to enjoy the beauty of political science too much. You're not supposed to become a scholar. You are somebody who has to score marks, clear the exam, and move ahead. उसके बाद में जो भी आपकी तमन्नाएं हैं, the books that you want to read, the scholar that you want to appear, the TED talks that you want to give, दे देना. But abhi, please don't try to become a scholar. Please don't try to become the next Aristotle. You have to become the next topper. And there is a difference. So when you try to become a scholar of the subject, when you try to become somebody who knows too much, if there is a question on Gramsci's concept of hegemony, you'll start explaining everything about the concept. Itna pad liya, itna samajh liya. Then I am going to give you the history, the background. I'm going to tell you what he believed in. But that's not what the question was. You have to come to the point. You should exactly know what the question is demanding. You don't have to flow with the flow. You have to be very objective and answer what the question is demanding. So if the question says, examine Gramsci's concept of hegemony, then please examine the concept only. Don't bring in the story. Don't tell me what happened before and later and who influenced who. It may be good for your understanding, but marks will entirely be dependent on whether you are answering what the examiner is asking you. If the question paper remains unanswered, if you're not able to complete the paper, if you're not able to answer what the examiner wants you, then no amount of scholarly interventions, no amount of you knowing the subject is going to help. So, my dear students, my suggestion to you is know where to stop. Know this topic is done and now I can move ahead. Know that you're not supposed to discuss it at every chai ki thadi, on every other conversation that you have with your friends. Don't engage in too many political conversations, because remember, at the end of the day, this is an exam. Treat it like an exam, clear it and move ahead. Emotionally attached hoge, so you can come on this side of the platform, which if you want to, it's not a bad place to be, but I don't want that for you, because you can do better, or you can be where you want to be. So make sure that you do things which are required from exam point of view. Don't get too emotionally attached with the subject. Don't read every new book. एस जयशंकर की किताब है उठा के पढ़ लेती हूँ. Take up a summary. Somebody is teaching you the summary in 1 hour. Pick it up, and that's it. Don't do too much, because too much is not required. Remember, you have to prepare to score, not to become a scholar, please. Next step, my dear students, is extremely important. See, let's be practical. We are starting from June. Somewhere in December, you're going to complete once the optional. Then you're going to shift gears to your prelims preparation. After prelims, you'll have 2.5 months to kind of gear up for your mains. And within these 2.5 months, you'll have to take care of 4 GS papers. You have your essay, you have your compulsory papers, and then you also have to do your optional. So optional is not the only thing that you're going to do in those 2.5 months. Essay mein, if your approach is scattered, if your notes are scattered, then it does not translate into good marks. And I'll tell you why. So you've written some current affairs somewhere, you have some summary notes somewhere, कोई PDF कहीं पड़ी है, एक कोई मैम ने notes दिए थे वो कहीं पढ़े. If your notes are all over the place, then you will not be able to revise them. And if you will not be able to revise them, you will not be able to reproduce them. So what is needed is a very structured, a very systematic approach to note making. So my dear students, there are two ways to do it. Usually, people would like to make detailed notes or they would take up ready-made detailed notes by teachers in the market. Whatever works for you, you do that. In my course, for example, I give very comprehensive notes made out of all the books. So that is one way. You can take up any notes that are available. Fine. But please make summary notes out of them. Super, super, super important. See, detailed notes will run into thousands of pages and you will not be able to revise them before the exam. So what is very important is you should have something that you are able to revise on the exam day. Because if you're not able to revise something on the exam day, a day before exam, a week before exam, then there is no point of reading. Because at the end of the day, you'll be able to recall only when you have revised. And for this, what I recommend is, my dear students, once you're done reading the detailed notes, start making summary notes. If you want help as to how to make summary notes, मुझे वो भी बताना. Let me know in the comments. And if a lot of people want that, I can explain, I can show you how to make summary notes also. So for this 4-folder approach, my dear students, what you do is you pick up 4 folders. You can do it digitally also and you can do it physically also, whatever works. Pick up 4 folders and for each of these folders, my dear students, mark it. Paper 1 part A, paper 1 part B, paper 2 part A, paper 2 part B. Make your summary notes and arrange them as per the syllabus. So stick the syllabus on the first folder, part A ka syllabus, and start attaching paper 1 part A ka topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, topic 4. Like that, bullet point wise, you start attaching the summary notes. And after every summary note, my dear students, attach a blank sheet. So you have your notes, attach a blank sheet, and on the top of the blank sheet, write current dimensions / value addition. So say the 7th point in paper 1 part A is Mahatma Gandhi, and you have the summary notes for Mahatma Gandhi ready. Now you read an article today which had a very interesting line on Mahatma Gandhi and you found it to be very good. Pick that line and add it in this value added sheet. Now you will have all the static information about Gandhi. You have static notes about Gandhi. And you have one sheet where you have all the current affairs related to Mahatma Gandhi. You have all the value addition related to Mahatma Gandhi. So now when I'm revising, now when I'm trying to recall, I have everything about Mahatma Gandhi at one place. And you have no idea how great that is. That would mean I can literally recall stuff when I'm writing my answers because I have retained it together. This is the beauty of, my dear students, reading things in a way where they are compact and at one place. So make sure that you have these 4 folders. We call it as the 4-folder approach. Mark them. You can do this digitally also. You can do this, physically also. And please, my dear students, summary notes is something that you should make on your own. Detailed notes आप किसी के ले लीजिए, but summary notes is when you get into active reading. So मेरे students बोलते हैं मैम summary notes दे दो, end में मैं दे देती हूँ, but I still highly recommend making your summary notes on your own is absolutely beautiful because that helps in retention. So if you want to convert something into long-term memory, something that stays with you, please try and make summary notes yourself. Use the 4 folders, attach the static, put a sheet, write value addition, write all the value addition there together and revise everything together as well. Now step number 7, and I can't emphasize this enough. तो ना मेरे पास हर कुछ दिन में कोई मेल आता है कि मैम कुछ वैल्यू एडिशन बता दो ना, कुछ स्कॉलर्स का कोई पीडीएफ दे दो ना, कुछ कोड्स दे दो ना. So my dear students, there are a lot of these PDFs available. कंटेंट की कोई कमी नहीं है. देयर इज टू मच ऑफ कंटेंट. इतना हमें चाहिए भी नहीं जितना कंटेंट है मार्केट में अवेलेबल. बट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड समथिंग इंपॉर्टेंट हियर. वैल्यू एडिशन का मतलब क्या होता है? एडिंग वैल्यू. जब आपके पास कुछ कंटेंट ऑलरेडी है तभी आप उसमें वैल्यू ऐड करोगे. कैन वैल्यू बी एडेड इन वैक्यूम? वैक्यूम में कोई वैल्यू ऐड हो सकती है क्या? So to add value, you should first have content. अब इस बात को ऐसे समझिए, आप एक आंसर लिख रहे हैं जिसमें आप 10 कोट लिख रहे हैं, 10 डेटा दे रहे हैं, 10 कॉलर्स डाल रहे हैं, लेकिन आप कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं समझा रहे, यू आर नॉट एक्सप्लेनिंग द कोर कॉन्सेप्ट, तो वो आपका स्ट्रॉन्ग आंसर नहीं बनता है. Please understand that you're not given marks for adding value only. Value has to be added to a content. सो प्लीज जब आप अपनी प्रेपरेशन स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, प्लीज डोंट रन आफ्टर वैल्यू एडिशन कि हम ये पीडीएफ स्टोर कर लें, हम ये पीडीएफ डाउनलोड कर लें और हम ये स्कॉलर लिख लें. स्कॉलर्स डेटा इवेंचुअली आपके पास आ जाएगा, एंड दिस यू कैन डू इवन आफ्टर योर प्रिलिम्स. दैट्स पॉसिबल. बट अगर मेरा कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर नहीं है, मुझे सारे सब्जेक्ट अच्छे से नहीं आते, मुझे कोर कंटेंट नहीं आता है, इफ आई एम नॉट श्योर what that topic is about, if I'm not aware about allegory of the cave, if I can't explain it, and if I'm not able to answer what the question is demanding, then only adding value is not going to turn into anything useful. देखिए ये ना preparation इतनी लंबी है कि आप कभी भी इसमें खो सकते हैं, और इस खोने के बारे में आपको तब पता चलता है जब आपका अगली एग्जाम होता है, and that is very painful. So you can be lost all through the way and you'll not even know that you are lost. पता कब चलेगा? When you have given the exam. And then you have to repeat the cycle again. तो हमें वो करने से बचना है. We have to save ourselves from that. And we have to ask कि okay, am I done with concept? मुझे concept समझ में आ गया क्या? Can I answer the question? Do I have the content to write in the answer? Okay, tick, 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 tick. That's when I'm going to move from content to value addition. But value addition cannot be and should not be your only priority. It has to be done once you are done with content, once when you are absolutely sure with regards to your content, with regards to your conceptual clarity. तो आज मुझे प्रॉमिस करके जाओ कि हम अननेसेसरी पीडीएफ्स कलेक्ट नहीं करेंगे. वी डोंट हैव टू बिकम पीडीएफ कलेक्टर ना. Okay. Now, my dear students, remember I told you that I'll be giving you a 6 months plan. And let me show that plan to you. We'll be attaching the Excel link to that plan also. आप उसको copy करके अपने हिसाब से change भी कर सकते हैं. And I'm going to show you how this plan can be useful. We'll connect it to step number 1. Remember, I told you you should have a structure. This is exactly what I mean by structure. Even before you begin, you should have a point. Okay, this is the topic that I'm going to read today. Okay, this is the topic that I'm going to read today. And that's where this plan becomes very important. So let me share the plan with you. So this is the plan, my dear students. This is where the plan is. So what I've done is I've given you exactly date wise. So if you're starting this month, you can start from 22nd of June. And I've given you date wise as to which topic you can complete on which dates. Or topic ke weightage ke hisab se, if something is taking more time, then I've given it more time. एंड सी इफ इट हैज टू बी डन इन अ डे, इट हैज टू बी डन इन अ डे. अब ईयू के ऊपर आप बहुत सारा पढ़ सकते हो, पर क्या आपके पास 5 दिन है सिर्फ ईयू पढ़ने के लिए? नहीं है. यू डोंट हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ अ लिबर्टी, बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, बाय फॉलोइंग दिस शेड्यूल ऑल्सो, आपका जा रहा है टिल 15th of December. एंड वी हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ एग्जिजेंसीज. 10-15 days ऊपर नीचे हो सकते हैं, थिंग्स कैन हैपन. So if we follow this, we are completing by 31st of December, considering 15 days का exigency. That means, okay, I can read 500 days on gender justice. 500 दिन की क्लास हो सकती है on gender justice. There can be 500 days you can spend on reading gender justice. But can you do that? Do you have the time to do that? No. हमारा स्ट्रक्चर इतना क्लियर होना चाहिए कि आज ही मुझे कंप्लीट करना है. उसमें the best I can do, I'll complete today. Because you don't even know whether there would be a question on gender justice or it's going to be on terrorism or it's going to be on human rights. So we have to cover breadth as much as we have to cover depth. और उसके लिए, my dear students, is very important that you have this structure. So you can follow this. Also, I've given you all the resources. So I've given you exactly the books that you can read. I've given you the websites that you must visit. Also, my dear students, we have our magazine, which is called as PSIR Fix. So current affairs के लिए you don't have to worry. If you're not a part of the Telegram channel, उसको join कर लीजिए. Every month we share a current affairs magazine where you find consolidated articles, value addition, everything is sorted there. So you can refer to PSIR Fix, and I have even given you slots for PSIR Fix. For example, 19th of July, we are reading PSIR Fix here. Then 5th of July, PSIR Fix here. So that, your current affairs is also taken care of. And yes, in resources, I've also given you some names, जिनके editorials आपको जरूर से पढ़ने हैं. If you're going for some notes and skipping these books, that's also fine. If you want to read from, essential material, if you want to read from directly books, then these are the books that you can refer. I've also given you which units you should be reading, which chapters you should be reading. Make sure that you take a good reading of it, make short notes out of it, and use the 4 folder approach. तो ये जो प्लान है वो आप डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं, सेव कर सकते हैं, and you can use it for your preparation. By this, we will be able to finish everything by 15th of December if everything goes as per plan. थोड़ा बहुत ऊपर नीचे होता है तो we should be able to finish it by 31st of December. So अब हमें लेट नहीं करना है, we don't have to wait. This is the right time. Please promise yourself that you're going to begin and then please begin. Okay. Now, after this point, my dear students, आपको जो पता होना चाहिए for PSIR optional, you know already. Now you have to take action and do it. So now is the time to take action, my dear students. Sit today, ponder over the things that I've told you and do it. Even if you're doing with self-study, आप कर सकते हैं. But say you are a working professional, कभी-कभी optional आपका नहीं है, you're not from the background, you need some help, then we are also coming up with a comprehensive foundation course, my dear students, and it is starting from 22nd of June. I'll walk you through the course features so that you can make an informed choice. With optional, sometimes you need bit of a help क्योंकि वो technical हो जाता है at some points. So if you need that help, if you think you need a structured plan and a guidance, then I want to walk you through the entire plan today, the entire course structure today. As I told you, it's going to start from 22nd of June 2026. Now, I'll be taking the entire course, and as I already told you, I am a bachelor's in political science. I did my master's, UGC NET, pursuing my PhD in it. I've been teaching it for last 10 years. So you can be assured that you are in competent hands. Also, my dear students, when it comes to the course, we make sure that we cover the entire syllabus in a very structured manner. So I don't believe in the idea कि short note से कर लेते हैं या quickly कर लेते हैं. See, it needs time. You need to give that time. Of course, that time has to be timed, but about 350 plus hours of lecture will be there because the syllabus is comprehensive. I assume that you know nothing. I'm sure some of you know something, but मैं ऐसे समझ के पढ़ाती हूँ that you know nothing, so that your base is absolutely clear and then you build upon it. So we start from the very scratch. We develop on it, then we go to the advanced level. So we actually follow the Bloom's taxonomy in our classes. Those of you who are part of my classes would vouch for it. Then, my dear students, mentorship is also included in it. See, the idea is throughout your preparation, there would be times when you feel lost. So you're not sure कि मैं सही कर रही हूँ, नहीं कर रही हूँ. I need some hand holding. So I am also available for mentorship. We have a team also. You can reach out. You can have a one-on-one session. I always reply all my emails. So you can contact over email also. So there's a lot of opportunity for you to contact so that whenever you feel you are lost in the preparation, you can come back to the track. Also, my dear students, I gave you a lot of books. If you want to read from books, fine. But say you want one note which has the combination of all of these books, तो ये सारी किताबें पढ़कर, इन सबको समझकर, मेरे notes, my understanding of all these years, I have accumulated them and created a comprehensive note format booklets for you. So this is how the notes look like. We first give you a PYQ analysis and trend, जो मैं आपको बताते कि इस टॉपिक में से कैसे क्वेश्चंस आए हैं, what has been the focus area, what have been the priorities of the examiners, आपको कैसे तैयारी करनी है, what are the areas that you should focus on, and then systematically, my dear students, I take you to the notes. So इसमें pictures included हैं, कोई current relevance का point है तो वो boxes में included है. What I can assure you is, after these notes, you don't need to read books. तो वो बुक्स का जो पूरा सार है, जो निचोड़ है, जो लर्निंग है, the entire idea has been summarized comprehensively in these notes. Now, there is no doubt that we should be reading books, but then let's be practical. You technically get only 6 months. Is it really possible to read so many books in 6 months? I have my reservation. Unless, of course, you have a background, unless, of course, you know the core concept, that's a different thing. बट अगर आपको चाहिए कि नहीं, मेरे पास कोई बैकग्राउंड नहीं है, टाइम कम है, then these notes are more than enough. You don't need to go for books in that case. Of course, value addition will have to be done, but that is once we are done with it. That's where current affairs, etc. play a big role. So in this course, we give you these comprehensive notes. Answer writing, very, very important. तो मैंने आपसे बोला, I don't defer answer writing. I don't believe कि answer writing बाद में करेंगे. So we start from the very beginning. We write answers. We have these live answer writing sessions also, जहाँ मैं बच्चों को the students sit. We time say 10 minutes. You write and then we discuss. कि okay, ये सही हुआ, ये गलत हुआ. This could have been done. This should have the model answer be. And then we also provide the model answer for it. So you literally write with us so that you break that inertia of writing and you start writing. And for this, we also have answer writing master classes. So in those classes, the idea is simple. Let's see how PYQs were asked. Let's see how you had to approach them, how you could make that answer better. Very important, because at the end of the day, kitna bhi aapne pad liya hai, you are going to be marked for what you're writing in the exam. Also, my dear students, as I said, we have a monthly magazine by the name PSIR Fix. The idea is to make sure कि current affairs के लिए आपको भागना ना पड़े. You are using these current affairs to substantiate your core notes that you have, the comprehensive notes that you have, so that you have everything consolidated at one place. You don't have to run for current affairs elsewhere. And once you have everything at one place, you are able to develop connections, you're able to interlink, and you're able to write better. So PSR Fix भी अच्छे से use की जाए is what I would suggest. Then, as I said, my dear students, PYQs को lightly नहीं लेना है, especially for your optional. My dear students, there is a lot of repetition. Trends repeat होते हैं, core themes repeat होते हैं, even questions are repeated. You see themes are repeated, and that is not something that can be taken for granted. In an exam where every marks matter, imagine getting 5 questions that you've read before, understood before, written before, and you simply have to replicate them. Like, not simply, but you get my point. So we have a PYQ booklet. We provide PYQ booklet for each section. These have 13 years के PYQ solved, that is with model answers. और उस मॉडल आंसर के साथ में we also give you some insight कि चलो ये क्वेश्चन तो 2013 में पूछा था, but 2026 में क्या पूछा जा सकता है, what can be asked in 2026 based on what was asked in 2013. So that booklet is also super helpful, my dear students. You can use it to make sure that you're done with PYQs. Also, my dear students, there are 2 models available. There are 2 variants to the course. One is with test series and one is without test series. So you can pick up any of it. The one that is without test series would, of course, not have these sectionals and full length test. But of course, practice questions and mentorship is included in it. But if you go for the test series variant, then there are 12 sectional tests and 4 full length tests. We give you flexibility to write these answers by 30th of August 2027. A model answer is provided for each of these tests. You also have test discussions included in it. The idea is again to make sure that you have everything with regards to your PSIR optional in one ecosystem. So we don't want कि आप बहुत सारी चीजें अलग-अलग करें. You're buying a answer writing course from somewhere, a foundation course from somewhere, test series from somewhere. There's no use for it. I mean, that does not translate into anything. Rather, if you have the entire ecosystem at one place, that can be very helpful. Also, the learning module is flexible. Let me explain what do I mean by it. So there are live classes. And then these live classes, my dear students, are also available to you in recorded format. And this recording is available to you for 3 years. The logic is simple. See, the exam cycle itself is of 1 year. You are preparing for 1 year. So that makes it 2 years. Plus exigency, so 1 year. So 3 years का मतलब ये है, for the next 3 years, you can watch it as many times as you want to. You can refer to it as many times as you want to. 1.5x पे देखना है, वो देख सकते हो. No restrictions. No restrictions like इस सर्कल में नहीं देख सकते, इतनी विसिनिटी में होंगे तो कहीं भी देख सकते हैं. You can watch it anywhere. You can watch it as many times as you want to. And I'll be more than happy if you watch it twice, but उतना time maybe you don't have, but say you miss something, you need a clarity on a particular topic, you can just watch it on 2x or 1.5x and get clarity. My dear students, model answers are provided to you so that you know exactly how the answer had to be structured. कैसे आप high quality answers लिख सकते हैं? How do you get that 1 marks extra so that at the end of it, you do translate it into something meaningful and not another course that you buy. With regards to the course duration, my dear students, it would go on for 6 months. The duration of the class would be about 2.5 hours. It's going to be for 6 to 6.5 months. We try to complete it in 6 months plus minus 15 days you can consider. There is a 3-year access that is provided to you, and we give you a detailed plan as to kis din kya hoga, which topic will be taught on what date is given to you in that detailed plan. And yes, the medium of instruction is English. And I want to talk about it for a minute. See, when it comes to optional, my dear students, you should not go for English courses. If you're writing the exam in English, then go for English course. If you're writing the exam in Hindi, then go for Hindi course. Because English is no subject. With optional, the demand for answer writing, the content, the language has to be very, very scholarly, has to reflect that you know the content, not only the content, you know the language of the subject. In such a situation, of course, I'm not talking about fancy answers. I don't want you to write fancy answers, jargon based answers. But an answer that is very well presented and contains the core language is very important. And for that, if you're attending the lectures in English, then writing in English, that would be a bit of a problem. So predominantly, try to attend classes which are either in English or in Hindi. I teach in English. The course module is in English simply because you're going to write the exam in English. So English would be the medium of instruction in the course, my dear students. Wanted to clarify that as well. These are the notes. Just wanted to give you a look. This is how the PSIR fix looks like. That's where you have all the current affairs, maps. Okay, and we give you theoretical linkages also. कि भैया ये topic तो है पर ये किससे connect हो रहा है? Which is the topic that it is getting connected to? Which is the concept that it is getting connected to? That also I explain. With regards to course prices, my dear students, if you go for the without test series module, then it is for 19,999. If you go for with test series wala module, then it is 24,999. And right now there is a pre-launch discount going on for the next 3 days. If you enroll in the course, you can get a 10% off on both of these. And for that, you'll have to use Paul10 as the code. These courses are available on courses.upscprep.com and you can enroll and you can be part of the classes. और अभी भी कुछ doubt है, if you have any queries, see, the query cannot be just about the course. If you're just, not sure how to start, you are not sure if your resources are right, if you are not sure whether PSI should be your optional or not, then you can also book a free mentorship session with me. This is the number. You can contact the team or you can drop an email and request for a mentorship session. And based on our mutual availability, we can connect. I can sit with you. I can help you figure out. And no, this would not be keep PSIR le lo, nothing like that. We are going to go have a very honest discussion. If it suits you, if it works for you, you should go with it. Otherwise, you can go for other optionals also. The point is, you should be able to clear the exam. That's our objective. Exam निकलना चाहिए. उसके लिए आप अपना best दीजिए. We will try our best that we help you through the journey. So that was about it, my dear students. If you want to take a look at the testimonials, some students have been very kind and they've written some very beautiful notes. So आप इनको देख लीजिएगा so that you are able to make a better choice. And if you decide to go for self-study also, then please use this self-study plan, the 6-month plan. And please make sure that you follow us on Telegram. We keep giving some very good information there. We also have a PSIR free course. You can join that course as well. We'll link the PSIR free course also in the description so that you can be a part of it. I wish you all the very best. I know this journey is tough. I know you have your doubts. I know you have your anxieties. I know you have your worries. But what I can assure you is towards the end of it, it's all going to make sense. Even if it does not work out, it's going to make sense one day. And for now, believe in yourself, give your best, and I'm sure that the light is waiting for you at the end of the tunnel. All the very best and take care.